My name is Ondrej and here is how to run DeepSeek R1 on your computer. DeepSeek R1 is a Chinese AI model that was released a week ago and it just overtook ChatGPT on both the App Store and Google search volume. So in this video, I'll show you how to run this powerful AI model on your computer, making it 100% private. Now, DeepSeek R1 isn't just 27 times cheaper than O1. It's also better. If DeepSeek kept training R1, it would surpass O3 because at the same cost, it was clearly ahead of O3 Mini. Now, DeepSeek is so huge that even world leaders began talking about it. Trump said that it's a wake-up call to American companies, and I think what makes him worried is that US citizens are blindly sending all of their data to China. And let's be honest, 99% of people are doing just that. But if you watch until the end, you'll learn how to host this model yourself, both on your PC and your phone. Now, the release of DeepSeek has been a $600 billion loss to the stock market of American companies, namely chip providers like Nvidia, AMD, and so on. On the bright side, it means that AGI will likely be open source. Now, here's what makes DeepSeek just beautiful. The main R1 model has 671 billion parameters. That means you cannot run that model on your computer. However, DeepSeek also released 6 smaller distilled models, which are also very powerful. So no matter what your setup is, no matter if you have a $7,000 MacBook or a reasonable 10-year-old computer, you can run DeepSeek R1 locally. And I'll show you how to do this even if you're a complete beginner. Now, there has been a global outage at DeepSeek. Due to the explosion of popularity, using it has become increasingly difficult. Just using the main chat has become virtually impossible over the past 48 hours. That's why I instantly added DeepSeek R1 into Vectel and gave everyone unlimited access. That's right. If you use Vectel, you will have unlimited DeepSeek R1 access, and plus our servers are hosted in Europe, so China will not see your data. Go to vectel.ai and sign up. Now, here's what Sam Altman said in response to DeepSeek. DeepSeek R1 is an impressive model, particularly around what they're able to deliver for the price. We will obviously deliver much better models. A bit of ego there. And also, it's legit invigorating to have a new competitor. We will pull up some releases, so we'll see if this is all talk or if O3 will shock the world. But here's why ChatGPT currently sucks, at least in the eyes of the average person. A normal LLM just does next token prediction. By the way, token is roughly 3/4 of a word. While this is enough for quick, obvious answers, it's not optimal for complex problems. And that's where reasoning models like DeepSeek R1 come into play. They can think about the problem critically, like a human would. Say someone sends you a cryptic message and you have no idea what it means. Instead of instantly trying to respond yourself, you ask the 10 smartest people you know about what this message could mean, and then you use whatever the best idea from all 10 people is. You use that as the final response. What makes reasoning truly powerful is that bad prompts don't really matter because AI will think about it. Instead, if you send it to a normal LLM, it will just spit out an answer. So if the prompt sucks, the answer will suck. Plus, DeepSeek will show you the chain of thought. It will actually show you the reasoning tokens, which O1 doesn't do. Now, there has been a lot of OpenAI cope going on for the past few days. Just like with every other technological change, a lot of people are in denial about DeepSeek's success. And a lot of those people are in AI. Imagine building your entire business on top of OpenAI models. Changing to a different provider can not only be costly, but hugely time-consuming. However, you have to stay adaptable. 2025 will be the year of change. If you think things are going fast, because over the last 2 weeks, the AI space has been on fire, so many things have been happening, this is just the beginning. You need to get rid of all rigid and static beliefs you have. Those will only hold you back. You need to be adaptable. You need to be able to learn new things quickly. One of the things you have to understand is the power of open source. What open source means is that you can actually see inside of the AI model, aka you have access to the weights. This also allows developers to fine-tune the model for their own needs. So let's say there could be a version of DeepSeek for legal purposes or for programming purposes and so on. And most importantly, it lets you host the model yourself, which is what we're gonna do in this video. Now, here's why China is currently winning. The US has been the leader of AI for the longest time. However, China has been catching up quick. Energy is absolutely crucial to train the best AI models, and China is producing far more energy than the United States. They also have some of the best talent in the world. That's why DeepSeek was able to be built for the same price as Sam Altman's Koenigsegg. On top of that, China has one of the highest average IQs in the world, which certainly doesn't hurt. But it's not just DeepSeek that China is cooking. Qwen, Kimi, Doubao, those are just 3 of the new AI models that have been released over the past few days, all coming from China, and all of them being open source and absolutely destroying the closed source models coming from the USA. And a lot of that is thanks to reinforcement learning. This is a training method where the AI model learns by trial and error. I think Naval explained it beautifully. Imagine teaching a child to ride a bike. You could give them a detailed manual, which is supervised fine-tuning, but they'll likely learn better if you just let them try by themselves, which is reinforcement learning, falling, getting up, and gradually improving. That's why reinforcement learning is so powerful, and that's basically the secret behind DeepSeek's success. Now, let's get to building. Let's actually run the models locally on our computer. All right, so I'm gonna use Vectel because it's literally perfect for this. Here's the prompt. We wanna run a new AI model named DeepSeek R1 locally on our computer. We need to download and set up Ollama and then install the model through there. Split this big task into 4 smaller steps and create a subtask for each. Let's send that and watch Vectel do its magic. By the way, this is a new update that we just shipped, with the ability to create tasks and nodes and split tasks into smaller steps. So there it is, boom. And then we have the tasks that we need. Now, say you are a complete beginner and you don't know what Homebrew is, you're confused, say like, okay, I am a beginner and I don't know what Homebrew is. Let's just use the Ollama website. Beautiful. I've updated the first task, use the direct download method. Okay, so if we click on the first task, we can see we have the detailed steps in the context. So let's copy the URL, which will pull us to Ollama. So if you've never done this, click on download and select your operating system. So I'm on macOS. Save, download the macOS installer since it already knows I'm on Mac, and run it. So let's run it. Let's just follow whatever Vectel tells us to do. All right, pull up your downloads folder and unzip the file. When you unzip it, look for Ollama and you should see an icon like this of the llama. Double click that. This will install Ollama as an application. If you are afraid of the terminal, don't worry. Again, I'm going to show you how to put it into a nice user-friendly chat interface, but just don't expect, for some pop-up to nice UI. We've downloaded and installed Ollama. Next, we need to start the Ollama service. So again, you can just do Spotlight search, Ollama, to open it up, and you will know it by having the llama in the top right. Okay, so once you start the Ollama service, we can click that off. We need to get the DeepSeek R1 model. So let's go back to Ollama, click on models on the top left, and you will see DeepSeek R1 right here because it's popular. It's already have 2.4 million downloads, but if you don't see it, just type in DeepSeek and you will see it, DeepSeek R1. When you click on the model, you will see all of the possible versions right here. So from 1.5 billion all the way up to 671 billion. Now, you're probably thinking, but David, which model should I run? How do I know what my computer can handle? And how do I know which computer should I buy in the future to run these local AI models? Well, I'm glad you asked, because in the New Society, we've created a guide for the top 3 best hardware setup for AI models. You can easily find it inside of the classroom in the templates and preset sections. So if you want to have access to that, as well as all the other exclusive content we have in here, make sure to join the New Society. It's going to be linked below. Anyways, back to DeepSeek. So most of you should be able to run 7B or 8B model. If you have a decent computer, probably go for 14B or 32B. This one is one of the best size to performance models. So the 32B is amazing. It's actually better than GPT-4o. So if you are using ChatGPT, the free version of ChatGPT, this model destroys it. But obviously, 70B is what I'm going to be using because that's what I can run. Just copy this command right here. Ollama makes it super easy. You can just click right here, copy this command, and then we need to open up the terminal. So let's just ask Vectel, how do I open the terminal? I need to run this command to install the model. And since Vectel already knows that I'm on MacBook, it's going to give me detailed instructions specifically for me. So click Spotlight, okay, I'm going to do that, and then type in terminal and hit enter. If you're on Windows, it would give you instructions for Windows. That's why it's essential to have your tasks, your active projects, and work on them with the best LLMs, such as Sonnet 3.5 or DeepSeek. So in Vectel, I can easily enable DeepSeek mode. Let's say I want to focus on something and say, okay, how do I defeat OpenAI? It's one of my tasks with my AI startup. What are some things they cannot/aren't willing to do? And if you have more advanced tasks like this, DeepSeek is absolutely ideal because of the reasoning that it helps you do. All right, so let's get back on track. Let's follow the terminal. So we've opened that, press enter, and then we can just paste in the command right here. Boom. So the first time you do it, it actually will not show send a message. It will show a loading bar where you install the model. This will take anywhere from 1-2 minutes to 20-30 minutes. Again, depends which model you choose, because 1.5 billion is only 1 gigabyte, right? That can be installed in 2 minutes. 70 billion, it's 43 gigabytes. So again, keep in mind the storage you have on your computer. So now we can actually ask it a question, and it's going to be running completely locally on my MacBook right here. And I can already hear it getting louder and louder. So let's see. Solve this. 2x plus 3 equals 11. Hit enter, and now we can see the think tag. This means we're in the reasoning part of the response. So DeepSeek has reasoning and then final response. In the reasoning, it thinks about it, it considers multiple options. So as you can see, here to complete, okay, I first aim to isolate variable x. I start by subtracting 3, okay. Then once it's confident in the solution, it ends the reasoning part by doing the /think tag, and then it gives you the solution. And this is the final answer. OpenAI, with its reasoning models such as O1 or O1 Mini, doesn't show you the reasoning. So it only shows you the final solution. That's why DeepSeek is blowing up, because the average person can see how the AI models think. That is absolutely magical, right? Seeing behind the scenes into the AI model. So anyway, now we want to put this into actual nice UI, because running in a terminal, that's nice and all, but it's not really practical. So let's go back to Vectel. We can see we did pull the model and we test the model. I'm going to say, I'm going to turn off DeepSeek mode. Okay, I've completed all the tasks regarding Ollama. Now I want you to help me install anything LLM and run the new DeepSeek model through there. Create 3 subtasks for this. Okay, so there it is. I've created 3 subtasks to help you complete it. Okay, so it put them into tomorrow. I'm going to say move them to today. That's another thing Vectel can do. It can make multiple changes to multiple tasks at once. Anyways, our next task is to download and install Anything LLM. So let's do that right now. Just type in Anything LLM into Google and click the first link. This is going to take you to the download page. Click on download for desktop and select your operating system. I'm on macOS, Apple Silicon, so I'm going to select that. Save it. Once you download it, double click on the installer, which will install the Anything LLM app. Then you need to open it. So type in Anything LLM and open it up. I think for the first time when you run it, it will show like an onboarding process. Just click skip, skip, skip and get to this page. In here, we want to create a new workspace. So on the top left, click on new workspace and I'm going to name it Vectel.ai. Save. And then click on settings icon right here. And we want to set up the settings for this specific workspace. So by default, it uses some model, I don't know, but we want to use Ollama. So if you scroll down, we want to find Ollama right here. And then it's going to show you the different available models. Now make sure you have Ollama running. Again, if you don't, just run the Ollama installer we installed. But in here, you're going to see all of the models you have installed. And you can actually check them in the terminal as well. If you type in Ollama list, you will see all of the installed models you have. So as you can see, I have DeepSeek R1 70B, Llama 3.3, Nemotron, and some older models that I'll probably uninstall. But whatever model you have right here, select the best one. So obviously DeepSeek R1 is the best one out of these. So I'm going to select that. Then for the other settings, chat history, just leave it to 20. Here you can specify the system prompt, which you can just take one of the system prompts I've designed myself in the new society. So underneath templates and presets again, you'll see the prompts and instruction section. And in here you have 20 plus optimized prompts. If you want all of these, go to new society. It's going to be linked below. Anyways, to save some time, I'm going to leave it as default, but obviously make sure to change this. This is a very bad prompt. Okay, for temperature, I'm going to do 0.1, although I'm not sure if the reasoning models actually can accept it, but just the lower the better, more consistent. Then I'm going to create a new thread and we can see whether we can get a response. So actually before I do that, let me check our task list. So we did download Anything LLM, we did configure settings, and now all that remains is to test DeepSeek R1 70B in here. So let's give it something difficult, some proper test. I'm going to say, I want to test an AI model on its coding abilities. Let's give it a very difficult Python task, something that can be created in the console just by running a Python script. Ideally, something visual and nice. Give me 4 different options. And by the way, by default, Vectel uses the new Sonnet 3.5, which is the best normal LLM in the world. And then obviously DeepSeek R1 is the best reasoning model in the world. So we have both inside of Vectel. But anyways, we already have the answer. Let's do this one, 3D cube simulator. So rotating 3D cube in ASCII art just with Python and on a model that's running locally on my computer. So let's go back to Anything LLM. I will say your task is to write Python code for a 3D rotating cube. Output the full Python script in full. Put all of the code into a single file and let's run it. So hopefully my MacBook doesn't overheat right here because I'm recording while running the 70 billion model on my computer. And I definitely do not regret buying 128 gigs of RAM because now I can run amazing models like DeepSeek R1 70B, which outperforms ChatGPT 4.0, which most of you are using inside of ChatGPT. So that's why it pays to be on the cutting edge. ChatGPT is just one AI tool. You need to be using multiple. You need to be paying attention which is the best model, which is the best reasoning model, best normal model, best model you can run locally, the best model you can run on your phone. There's this cool app, by the way. Why this is running, let me show you this cool app. It's called Apollo AI. My editor will show it up on the screen. It costs like $6, and I think it's only on iOS right now, but it allows you to run open source models locally. And in here, I have installed the 7 billion version. So if we go back to Olama, I mean, I can show you, right? We can see the versions. This one, I'm running it locally on my phone. So this 7 billion parameter model, so this model is still amazing, and I can run it locally on my iPhone while this phone is offline. So that's the magic, right? If you're worried about, oh, going to China, you can run these models offline on your phone, on your computer. So if you have a powerful computer, you can have a 70B or 32B on your machine, on your computer, and then you can have 7B or even 1.5B on your phone. This is something I need to explain. Now, let me see. Is this still running? Yeah, this is still running. So obviously this is running slowly because it's a 70 billion parameter model on my computer. So it's going to take a few minutes to answer. In the meantime, I need to explain to you a crucial concept you need to understand. Imagine this is the population of the world, right? It's going to be 8 billion people. What's the progress? Are we still running? Yes. It's still coding. So see, while I'm drawing this, it's coding in the background, guys. If you don't think AI is amazing, I don't know. Anyways, 8 billion people, right? What is 1% of that? This is a misconception. You think like, okay, I'm going to be in the top 1%, but see, 1%, that's still 80 million people. And sure, even by using these AI tools, right, by paying attention to AI, you are in the 1%. So that is 80 million people. However, the real gains from AI, from all this technological boom, are not going to be made by 80 million people. They're not going to be equally divided by such a large group of people, right? Even 1% of the entire population, still a lot of people. It's going to be probably around 1% of the AI group, right? So out of all the people that are interested in AI, this small percentage, you know, let's say 1 or 2% max, or even like probably even less, probably like 0.5%. This is going to be the group that's going to truly benefit from AI. So that's roughly 800,000 people. Those 800,000 people, these are the ones that are truly going to benefit from AI and that are going to use AI to change their life, to automate boring and repetitive tasks with AI agents, or to build AI startups and scale that to 7, 8, 9 figures and beyond, right? So my goal is to make sure that you guys, you're watching this, are in the 1% of the 1%. And this is the difference. Running models locally, understanding prompt engineering, using tools like Cursor, Perplexity, and all that, that's what will put you into this small bubble of 1% of 1%. And my goal is to ensure that you guys, the people watching this, are those 800,000 people. Now, we still have plenty of spots because we barely scratched 200K. So if you want to be in that 800K, in the 1% of the 1%, make sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss future videos and you actually get to the cutting edge of AI. Now, let's switch back to anything LLM, and beautiful, there it is. So it took 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes almost exactly, and it was roughly 4.8 tokens per second. So let's call that 5 tokens per second, which it is very slow, but again, we're running a very powerful model on a MacBook. It's a laptop, for God's sake. Anyways, we have the script right here. I'm going to copy the code and I'm going to go into Cursor and I'm going to paste it in. All right, so we have what? 86 lines of code. Let's see if this runs, guys. This is a single prompt on a locally run model. I'm going to be surprised if this runs on the first try without any errors. That would be amazing. So let's run it. And there it is. Obviously, the cube is very small. But again, for a locally run model on my computer, it's amazing that it runs without errors. Obviously, we could refine it. We could ask it for multiple prompts. Don't be limited by saying like, oh my God, David, that's not how I imagined it. This is a single prompt. You can give it feedback and it will, take another 4 or 5 minutes to respond, but it will get there. And another thing, if you want a faster version, you should actually install multiple ones. That's why you should have multiple models. So, if you can run 70B, also install 32B. That way you can run it faster. So let's say you don't have 5 minutes to wait. You can run a smaller model for a quicker response. Or maybe you just run the first prompt with the powerful model and you switch to like a 14B or 8B and then you refine it with those. That's actually another strat that I should use more myself. So make sure to download multiple models, the best one you can get, but then a faster one so that if you need the faster responses, let's say 30 tokens per second or 50 tokens per second, you can get those. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Watching DeepSeek succeed is amazing. again, make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more videos like this. And if you're one of the people that like to be hyper productive, that don't like wasting time and want to be as efficient as possible, check out Vector AI. I think you'll love it. It's an AI-powered task management tool that actually saves you time. So again, go to Vector AI and give it a shot. Every Vector user gets unlimited access to DeepSeek R1. So while other people are struggling with, accessing DeepSeek chat, we're running inside of Vector smoothly and easily on European servers, meaning your data doesn't go to China. So again, go to Vector AI, give it a shot. You won't be disappointed. With that being said, thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful, productive week. See ya.